So, welcome to the first session on Django tutorials. Now, I'm going to introduce to you what is Django and how we are going to use this Django framework for web development. Django is a Python based web development framework that is used to create web pages. It is built upon a concept called as model, view, template. Okay. So first what we have to do is that we have to create an exclusive folder for our projects. Let us call that in a project name. So here what you can do is that you can do it along with me so that you will understand. So here what I am doing is that I am creating a new folder called as Aptinity. Aptinity is the project that we are going to do in Django. Aptnity is what I have created. Now I'm going to open this in command prompt and I'm going to go to this folder in the command prompt cd / aptinity. So I have entered into the folder called as Aptinity. Okay. Now what we have to do is that Django, as I told you, is a Python based web framework. So first of all we should check whether we have Python installed or not. So to check Python installed or not, you have several ways. One is that Python version you can check. So here when you check Python version, and if you get Python version to be 3.11.0, that is 3.11 is the version of Python installed. Do you all have Python installed in your laptops? All of you. Now we need to see if virtual environment is installed in your computer. What is virtual environment? See, we don't want all the process that is happening in our system to affect the other process in your laptop. For that what we'll do is that we'll create an exclusive virtual environment and all the other things whatever we are going to install will be in that particular virtual environment. Okay. So how to create a virtual environment? Python venv and I'm giving some name called as apt, some name. Okay, just a second. Python mvenv apt. I'm creating a virtual environment for working in our, that means I am having a separate environment. I'm doing all the process in that environment. So now when I did like this, I've created, now when I see what are the folders that is available, I have another folder called as app available. Okay. I've created a virtual environment. I called it as apt. For the sake of, you can give anything, env or whatever you like, you can give. You are creating a name, you are creating a separate small space within your computer so that your system works more effectively when you do other programs also. It does this thing, whatever is happening inside the virtual environment may not be affecting your other programs. So what we have something called as apt. So we'll go to apt and see what we have in apt. We have something like this. We have scripts and so on. Right? There is another folder that is automatically created by the virtual environment by Python inside your Aptinity folder, which created apt virtual environment. Now I'm going back to Aptinity because I wanted to activate this virtual environment so that all whatever I'm going to do in future will be done within this virtual environment. Okay. So how I will do that is that apt / scripts / activate. When I do like this, you can see that Aptinity virtual environment APT is activated. Okay, you understand now? Now, entire our programs and everything will be done in this particular Aptinity folder. Okay, using this virtual environment that we have created, and I called it as APT. Understood? Next, what I'm going to do here is that, see, I'm going to look into this folder. Now, in this C, I've created Aptinity. Inside Aptinity, there is only one folder called as apt. Okay, this is the structure of my folder. Is that clear? Now, in this, now I have Python. I'll check what is that Python version. This is a virtual environment. Now, I'm going to install a framework called as Django. Django web framework. For that, I will use the command. Throughout our programs, we will be using pip install or pip3 install to install different kind of packages and frameworks and in the virtual environment. So next time when you access, you don't need to create the virtual environment, but you have to activate the virtual environment so that this Python program is going to work. Okay, understood? So pip install Django, when I click, you know what happens if you're, it will start getting connected and install Django. Is it getting installed? Yes. For me it is completed. For you is it completed? So all the necessary packages for creating Django project is being downloaded and installed in your computer. Now we'll start our first Django project. Okay. For that, the command is Django-admin start project. Okay, you're starting this project in this Aptinity folder. Okay, I am calling this project as a Aptinity then I'll call it. Okay, you can give any name, but here I have used the word Aptinity itself. Now after doing this, now you keep your command prompt minimized. Don't close it. You open Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, open the folder, give this open folder, and you open that folder called as Aptinity. Aptinity. Inside Aptinity, you would have got another one folder called as Aptinity, which is your Django project. Okay. In that you will have one folder called as Aptinity. In that you will have init, ASGI, settings, URLs, WSGI and manage.py. Okay. Are you able to see this manage.py file here? All of you? Now, we are going to initialize our server. For that, what we'll do is that we'll write this command python manage.py run server. So it is not there here, it will be there in the Aptinity folder, right? Aptinity cd aptinity dir python manage.py run server. When I do like this, what happens? I have initialized the server, I have successfully installed Django, and my development server is running at this particular IP address, local host. When I click this, what happens? Install worked successfully. Congratulations, Django successful. Understood? Okay. Python manage.py run server. Python manage.py run server. I'll come. So now we have started the development server. Now we'll close the development server and we'll start app. For that, type this command python manage.py start app. We'll give it as home or something, some name we can give, okay? Start app home. Now what happens is that, now if you open this Visual Studio Code, you can see that another one folder is there, home, with some Python files installed in this. Right? Okay. Python manage.py start app home or some name you give. Okay. Start app. Now, in this you will find init.py, admin.py, apps.py, models.py, test.py, use.py. In this is the main one. Okay, this is Aptinity. This came from the start Django-admin start project. This folder was formed from the command python manage.py start app. So Aptinity is the project and home is the app. Okay. So in this you have one file called as urls.py. Now, you open in Visual Studio Code, in this you will find one file called as urls.py. In home you won't have urls.py. What you are doing is that you create a new file, you call it as urls.py. Inside the home and save it as urls.py. I'll tell you why and what you are going to do. I'll tell you stage by stage. Okay. Now in this folder, in this file, open this urls.py in Aptinity or in the main project. Okay. Then inside that, apart from path, you do one thing, you take include. Okay. And in this path, you add another one thing called as simply an empty URL. Okay, escape. In this you do one thing, include home dot URLs and put this in quote. Okay, open your urls.py. Now you save this. Open your urls.py in your project folder. In that path include, import that include also, and in path you put home.urls.